Yay, we are live. Oh my God. Hello, Annie.
Hello.
How long has it been?
Too long, Teresa. I mean, but it's okay. Oh, by the way, we're live. So I'm just going to stop it. Yes. All right. Good. Everything's going well. Two thumbs up. Let's deep dive into the subject. So welcome back if
Yes,
you're here
I'm
with us.
so happy that we're able to do live. We have been so caught up with travels and holidays and all those other things that we've been so busy doing that we absolutely missed doing this live. So really excited with today's topic as well. And when I was coming up with the topic, it really came from an inspiration talking to somebody because I was sharing somebody with what I was doing and he was like, "So are you fortune tellers?" We're like, "No, we're spiritual channelers. We are not fortune tellers. We can't tell your future." Then it's like, then do you like the feng shui master where you tell me what to do so that I could change my luck and change my fortune? And I'm like, no, not exactly. Then he's like, what exactly do you do? I said, we are healers, we're channelers, but we can change your life in a way that you didn't expect. And he's like, okay, tell me what, or like, okay, for example, let's just say you are very clear that you don't want to get married. And the reason is that, dating is fun, but getting married is just too troublesome, right? Or all those other ideas about like why being married is not good. So let's just say if we get into healing with you and we go into the past life and we found that there is a life where you lost your family through a tragedy and that really hurt you. And if we heal that fragment, we heal that timeline of that soul that experienced that, you may suddenly felt that, hey, you know what? Being married is not that not good, or like I may not be so adverse towards marrying. And yeah, maybe there's a lot of good that may come from having a family, having some children to love, a partner to support you, and then to grow together. And he's like, oh, okay. He said, but what happened if the person going in is really not interested in getting married? I said, that's fine, because we're not going to go into that past life and say, find out why the person doesn't want to get married, right? So there's a lot of question that came from that. So I thought that is going to be quite interesting. And no one actually really talked about that. Like, why healing past life, they thought we're just healing something, but how it can actually transform and change life.
Hmm. Yes, you're right. And it's like exactly finding the missing puzzles. Sometimes you know about your purpose, you know about like things, you have clarity, but there is one missing link. You just can't put the finger on it. And that could be also very nerve-wracking or like, bringing you into anxiety where like you feel like you don't know what's going on. You can't explain it. It just like keeps on coming back. It's like a whole theme or old song, remember song that is coming, hovering over your head and you just can't explain it. So sometimes it's really, um, well, I will speak for myself. Like I'm very fortunate to have done that type of work because it would explain or would, bring some light on things that I couldn't get, pinpoint. And
Mm,
it was definitely, taking a lot of my wellness or taking a lot of my quality of life.
mm.
So definitely. So this is like, I'm not saying it's the last resort, but it's one of the, the jokers. Let's call it joker. It's not joker because we're not joking. But it's mostly, it's one option, a very good way to see another perspective or understanding
Mm.
fundamental inner thoughts or inner experiences that you haven't met or maybe even realized that it was following you.
Yeah. And a lot
So
of, go on, sorry. I
no,
was
it's
just,
just making it helps you to make more sense. It makes sense. Brings senses to you things that you're like, oh, I didn't see it like that, or there's this
yeah,
understanding, and it just gives you more light and also, bring you peace. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm really glad that you talk about, sometimes we have anxieties and we can't pinpoint and
Yeah.
we don't realize. And I do have friends, girlfriends who said that they're happy dating, but the moment the boyfriends talk about let's get married, their hearts start palpitating like crazy.
Wow.
And they could not bring themselves to the aisle to walk down the aisle. And this reminds me of the movie Julia Roberts,
Yes.
right? Runaway Bride.
Yes. With Cameron Diaz.
Was it Cameron
No,
Diaz?
no, sorry, sorry.
No,
The
that's
other
My
one.
Best Friend's Wedding.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's with Richard Gere or something,
Oh, yes. Yes,
right?
yes,
Where
yes, yes.
she came back with Richard Gere to do another enactment or something.
Mm,
But yeah, like the Runaway Bride, like why did she get anxiety just walking down the aisle, but she's happy dating,
yeah.
right? And I have friends like that. I actually do. And and personally myself, I've gone through a lot of past life healing um through the hypnosis way, but we did past life regression, not just by channeling. And what was interesting was that after every session I came out looking a bit different, because of how I held my muscle tension, how my body posture held myself. Because we don't
Mm.
realize this, that the emotional burden or blocks that we can't explain actually remains in our system, remains in our body. And I remember one time I could only do a past life regression session during lunchtime from work. So I left work to go do the session. And I came back, I went back to work, and my colleagues walked past me and go, "You look different. We couldn't recognize you when we walked past you. Did you change your clothes or did you put on fresh makeup?" But it was nothing like that. And because I'm also a hypnotherapist, and I've done sessions with my clients where I do feel that sometimes when we do hypnotherapy, it actually helps with the deeper healing. Many times, immediately in front of me, the client looks different.
Okay, so that means instead of pouring all your dollars into Botox, you might want to consider that option.
You're right, because they end up looking 10 years younger, but sometimes they will look completely different as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
the other way
completely
around?
different. No, 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 no. It is not that they become older, but
Yeah.
like I remembered I had a very Americanized Asian who grew up in America, right? Or USA. And then she came to my house came to my office for a healing session, for a hypno session. And then after the session, she looked completely Asian. It's very
Yeah.
hard to describe. Like when you look very Americanized, there is certain it's very hard to describe. Like the demureness of the way the muscles being held. Like there's certain Asian way that I don't know how the muscles are being held. Like the Asian beliefs or the belief system that's in our body will actually make us hold ourselves differently. So it's very, very interesting. Like she herself commented and go, I look just like my sister who was brought up in Singapore. And versus the fact that she actually felt that she always looked very different from to the rest of her family, because since young she had studied overseas, grew up overseas, and she always felt that she's very different from the rest of her family, and they could tell she looked different from the family. But after the session she go, I look just like my sister. So that's
Wow.
what I meant.
Impressive.
Yeah, well, she wasn't exactly pleased with it. She actually did like to look different
Okay.
from her
I'm so
family.
sorry. Okay. I thought, you know,
But
it could
yeah,
happen.
but
Uh,
personally, after my session, I do find that I'm slightly different in terms of my approach. I remember particularly the session that I went for. He actually talked about why I am such a uptight person. I used to be really uptight when I was working in an office. Like, I always like just, my face is always so scrunched up because my jaw is always tight, and I'm always very uptight about things. And I remember that past life, where um I just wanted to maintain a reputation of being the best in the field that I was in, and that I treated everybody who was working with me, working for me, in a very strict way. So not too different from what I was when I was working in the office, just uptight, not a very pleasant co-worker because I'm always like, squinting, and then my jaw is always tight. And after that session, or during the session, I saw how I died very lonely. Nobody wanted to be with me. Nobody cared about being with me, even though I had a lot of good reputation, because I was uptight and wanted to be Miss Perfect. Um, and that was a really sad realization after that healing session. So I woke up from that session and I came back, and I was so much more gentle with myself. And everybody came by to me and said that, what's wrong with you? I mean, no, not what's wrong with you, but like, did you change your clothes or did you change your makeup? You look absolutely different. We couldn't recognize you when we walked past. So it was quite an interesting session for me.
They
So did
ask you
that
if you
change
were a
my life?
clone.
Yeah, did that change my life? I think that did. It made me, I guess, maybe more pleasant, make my work place more pleasant. Um,
Hmm.
and that everything just, like, I wasn't so easily triggered anymore. Like if I detect any mistake, I wouldn't go, oh my God, and have that scowl and just be unhappy, and you know. So in that sense, I do feel that I have become a better person since that session.
Good.
And I really quite appreciate it. Yeah.
Wow. That could be like if you are working ahead of like a big production company, or they're not just productions, but I know because I used to work for television broadcasting, so I'm thinking about productions. But producers, there's a lot of stress. You have also deadlines, and whatever, and sometimes you're just being caught into the moment in time, and you have deadlines, and you don't have time or space for any tolerance, or or being more not empathic, but being just sweeter, whatever. It's like you're just like being you straight to the point. You don't have time to waste. So of course, I understand that sometimes it does print your blueprint, and it goes there, but it's also maybe a mirroring also from your past experience too. So yeah, so sometimes we do think we are connected to the jobs we have, but we also choose jobs concerning also like bringing us into that type of experiences, or linking to our own, I was going to say memoirs, but your own past life experiences. So we tend to always bring back the same things, don't we? It's not necessarily a karma, but we are we're here to learn, right? And I think that until the mission is not being, really done, or we haven't learned everything on it, so we're just going to keep on and go back to it. So coming back to the producers, and there are many jobs where, it's got to be done, and there's difficulty of being told, really nice with people. So I guess this could be something that can help you if you recognize yourself being into that scheme or theme.
Mm.
Yeah, if you feel like it's you, but it's not you, but you cannot do something else. Like you're always, into that type of energy or synergy, but you'd like to step out, that would be maybe something to look, and to look at one of your past experiences that could
In
explain
past
why you
lives,
always
yeah.
bring back. Yeah.
So
So yeah, work is a lot of our lives now. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but
no. So one of the other question that the person that I was having this discussion with, he was then like, when we come to this life, didn't we sign up for all these experiences, like choose not to be married, choose to be married, or choose to, be an adventurer, choose to be an artist and all that, right? And
Mm.
don't we just go ahead and do all those things? I said that's where it gets interesting. You may have signed up to be an artist, to be somebody famous, but let's just say your fear is being known. And here's the awkward part, right?
Yeah.
Where
Mm.
in the past life, we may have been somebody famous and then we got hurt because we were so well known and then
Mm.
became a target. And then when we're choosing our life, we may go, okay, I want to overcome this. I choose to take center stage, be famous, be an artist, right? So then you may be able to fulfill being the artist part, but the idea of being famous would just trigger a lot of anxiety. And therefore, the lesson that you signed up for to be a famous artist will not be fulfilled. And then you have to come back and do it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I have met some cases like that where the desire, they know, like the higher self will say during the channeling, this person, the soul is designed to be a artist that's influential and make a difference to earth, to humanity, or be an inspiration to this new generation. But because of the past life and not able to overcome what happened in the past life, then the person is not able to fulfill what the person has signed up for or contracted to achieve in this life, and therefore will have to come back and do it again.
Mm. Sounds like that happens very often.
Yeah, so I have met a lot of people who is actually so afraid. Like they say, public speaking is worse than death,
Yeah.
right? So many people are so afraid of being seen, being heard. Um, and a lot of times it has got to do, well, I'm not saying all, not 100%, but a lot of times there were times where they have witnessed or experienced in the past life where they were probably targeted because they were well known and they were influential and therefore became somebody seen to be of danger, especially in the political scene,
Mm-hmm.
or easily to be a scapegoat. And therefore, the idea of somebody being influential, powerful, well known is extremely scary, right? And that makes sense.
Yes. And I think there's also the other way around. It's like those people, I know they have something to do, but they can't do it. Or
Mm,
they just, being the fear of the like of success.
yep.
It's not necessarily just like specific skills, but whatever, like don't even want to try out or,
Mhm. Yeah.
and yeah, so there's so many. I'm pretty sure that if you're watching us now, you probably have already examples in your mind. Or if you want to share with us, please write down in the comments. Or if you like, it could be one of your, well, not your friends, but I mean, the stories that you have heard or whatever. And that would be lovely to hear from you. But yeah, so there's so many voices that need to be heard, and sometimes there are some voices or humans that are they choose to definitely to close up and are not necessarily are afraid to make them first the next move or a move at all. That we have seen many cases also from our clients
Yeah.
right so
So
far.
so exactly to all that, right? Just imagine if they have healed the past life and able to overcome those challenges, then their life changed completely, right?
Yes.
Somebody who is working at the background, not willing to be out there sharing, teaching, influencing, they can then change and transform and have a different experience. And it will be fulfilling because there's certain things about life. that I find it to be very joyful is actually teaching and sharing, and then watching and growing together with a community, with the like-minded people. And just imagine if that block from the past life, the emotional block from the past life, is stopping us from experiencing all that. That would be such a waste, I find.
Hmm. You're right. So either ways, it helps us to move forward and take the next step, whatever it is, where you are at in your life. And sometimes it's just like learning to live in the present moment, or just like, or taking, bringing your goals to the next level or next step, um, and also helping you out to be the best version of you.
Mm,
Because this definitely this we're experiencing light and darkness, but mostly we want to bring out our own light.
yeah.
So what is it that makes us to show it too much, or show it not enough?
Mm, exactly. Um, so here's the interesting thing, right? This is like, I'm not too sure if majority of the audience was like me before, where when the guides keep asking me to study hypnotherapy or to study more about past life. And I was telling my guides, and I was like, hey, let's not waste time with the past life, because it is this life that we have to get it right. Right? It is this life that we have to live, and this life that we have to be responsible for. So there's no proof that there's past life. There's no evidence there's a past life. So don't even just nag at me to go do anything to do with past lives, right?
Right.
So my guides are really quite interesting. So they then persuaded me to continue to do hypnotherapy, to then experience past life. And that journey of stepping into hypnotherapy and being able to use that gift to awaken the channelers, and then working with the channelers to again go into the past life, just opened up a completely different healing modality, that we could cross so many different timelines and heal so many different time dimension past lives, that it completely changed their life in the current life. And they become such a different person and felt so, I guess, free to be who they need to be. Because just imagine, right? I often talk about this, like when I'm teaching about channeling, right? That we are just not familiar and aware of what may come up in the past lives, right? And then whenever that comes up, and then we give the story a closure, it then gives us so much more emotional freedom and removes the blocks for us to then face what we need to face in this life. Yeah.
Hmm.
But
And
any
especially then, that would depending on also where you are at in your learning experiences.
mm,
So I found out that most of the experience, or the clients we had, it's just that it's measured up to where they are at. It's not a healing that, it's going to completely, put you, change your life
oh,
360 degrees where you
oh,
cannot handle it afterwards. It's basically the healing you need right now.
mm,
And hoping, because it's opening a door, and then
yeah,
like a domino effect, and has an impact. So it goes very fast, and it's not pure about like, it's not about controlling the healing effect. It's mostly also, it's according to everyone, because we're all individuals, but mostly, um, we have seen this, it's taking by the hand where the person is at.
mm.
Bec-
I remember one of the clients we worked with where he was an absolute recluse, and the family was very worried. And so when we tuned in to talk to the soul said, look, I don't know what came over me to sign up for a noisy family. I came from a place that was extremely quiet, and I realized I did enjoy my peace and quiet. So I'm not too sure why for this life I signed up for a boisterous, noisy, big family. is driving me nuts, so I prefer to hide in my room. So when we working on this the soul, then we're like, okay, but this life, previous life, let's talk about why you signed up for a life that's so noisy. So we took him to a past life where he was a lonely child, and he was always envious of the next door family that is always fun, and children family bickering, fighting over food, and fighting over toys. And he was just so envious, and he was this sick little boy, very sick, very weak, so he never had chance to go out to play, never had chance to go out to school. And
Oh,
then he died young, but remembering how noisy his neighbors were and how fun the neighbors were. So I think when he left that life, he said, I'm signing up for a life that is with a big family where I have to fight for my food, I have to fight for my toys, and that will be a fun experience. But who knows, when he came into it, he was like, what have I done? So when we helped him revisit that life, and he then go, oh, that's why I chose a life like this. Okay, whatever, let's just experience it. So he came
wow.
from his room and started, just interacting a bit more. And I remember during the channeling, he was like, okay, you know what? That's it. This big family ends here. I'm not gonna get married. I'm not gonna have any more children of my own. Like, this is way too noisy. I can't deal with it. But now he's a father.
Oh, great. How many kids?
Waiting for his second child.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear about that. Wow.
Yeah, right. So does past life change life or transforms life? I guess it offers us a different opportunity to experience different things that we signed up for.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought that was a very beautiful experience.
Wow, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
That brought tears to my eyes. But
Well,
any yeah, go
my
on.
only experience was also there was one call with you. Well, we
Yeah.
actually have did, but the second one was already like pretty on point. The first one was like, yeah, talking about energies and understanding to my guides and whatever. So there was like, the picture depicturing the picture
Mm-hmm.
so and seeing maybe the missing puzzles, but we couldn't do it, all at once. And then I think a year later, and then it was the second time that we have done it, and it was like I needed immediate assistance. It was like I was really not well that time. And it was exactly in that time, there was this understanding. So it's not something for me, it's like I didn't see the whole another life is necessarily, but we were definitely on point on the blister like I had, and it was like, so it was the fragment of the moment, sometimes not necessarily a past life, and it's already happening now. And you were able to grasp that here, and also afterwards, and like I understood what was my purpose and my mission in
Oh,
that two
what was it?
was like 90, well, it was definitely liberating. And also I remember you saying like you look 10 years younger, so I was pretty
Yeah.
happy about that.
Yeah.
But no, but it was mostly from suffocating, feeling in a moment was like, I don't understand. I tried everything, and like I'm up, I don't see the other options, like and because I'm too tired and too also frail, or even this understanding. It was just painful.
Mm.
And you were able to bring some understanding. And by that, then I was able to say, especially with the people coming up. So I was like really happy about that. So for me, it was like, aha, kudo. And also the mission, the not the missing link, but it was Lord Kumara. I definitely directly asked me like, when are you starting to do your job? Maybe it's about time. It's like, okay. And I said already, like, you were surprised, like, okay, when can we start? So it was already for me, it was a good point. So see, there's like sometimes Level bit by bit. Sometimes it's a lot of one time, and so it's not always a one timer. Sometimes it is, but from my experience, it was exactly what I needed. Like baby steps, and then rather big Himalayan step.
Mm,
So and
yeah.
so I want to thank you for that.
No, no, I tell you, like, I don't take credit for that because you brought yourself into those sessions. You signed up for all those healing sessions, right? So this is when you actually did respond to your own intuition, when you did listen to yourself. Like, imagine, the number of times when a person know they need healing, but they ignore it and they don't respond. So the credit goes to you for actually going that, yeah, I'm going to respond to that call. I'm going to respond to signing up. I'm going to show up because something's said inside I should do it. So credit goes to you, Annie.
Thank you. But you know what? For a long time, I thought I didn't have it. It can't be me. Like I had like a very bias or thinking,
Mm,
it has to be natural. So you have it when you're born, or already when you're pretty young, you already have um, those
gift.
gifts.
Mm,
But for me, it was like it's not not because my family, but it's something. If I would tell some stories, they would say, yeah, okay. So I started to adapt and adjust to that type of thinking. Also, it's like,
mhm,
so, but that time, but it was like I was really, not avoiding it, but sometimes like it's like, okay, look, this chapter is closed. I don't think I have it. Thank you. But you still have, it's still nagging you behind you. It's like you should be doing, listen to me. So
yeah,
that was the hurt. So I was
yeah,
hurting. It's not like, so it was like the cry out, like, can we do the stuff that I was supposed to be here? Because what's the point of being here?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's very interesting. A lot of the channelers in our team, a lot of them were like you.
Um,
A lot of them didn't even know they had this gift, because let's be honest, right? Like, nobody was born knowing that I am going to be a channeler, right? It is not something that it is taught in school. Like, we don't have Harry Potter school, right? It's always my dream to actually have one, like, Hogwarts. But yeah, so here's the thing, right? Nobody actually, like, we when we write, our children, when we start writing like what I want to be when I grow up, is nurses, doctors, lawyers, teacher, fireman, policeman, like, these are the things we dream of being when we're writing when we're young, right? Nobody said that I want to be a spiritual healer when we're growing up. And nobody, like, especially in very developed country, nobody actually talk about the gift that are not seen, not proven, whatever, right? Or where you cannot have something tangible. And so a lot of the folks who were working in Solistic Clinic never, ever, ever taught that they are going to serve as a channeler. Like the way you just talked about. Never.
mhm.
Like, yeah. In fact, I would say 100% of them who are working now as channelers with me, healing, working with clients, they have not stepped in to study a lot of spiritual classes. They have not even like basic things like aura, chakras, yeah, like, let alone talking about talking to aliens and talking to your spiritual guide, or like, you mean I do have a guardian angel? Like, no, 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 like, unheard of. Like, come on, people who are in our channeling team, we have got PhD psychologists, we have got lawyers, we have got auditors, very right brain, right? Yeah. So, and now here we are working together, doing a lot of healing, doing a lot of the work that transforms people's life, because we are able to go into the past lives and then heal those energetic or emotional blocks. Um, I'm not saying that that's the one and only way of healing our emotional blocks, but it's such a I guess, easy way in some sense that to give us the stories we didn't even realize we were holding on to, right?
Mhm.
Like how the mother came to us about how her son was born, and they have gone to see all the doctors about like what's wrong with the son's fist, like why he's always clenching into a ball of fist. And they thought like physically there's something wrong with the muscles. They keep doing something to this young child's fist, but the doctors did scans, x-rays, and they couldn't find the reason why it
Wow.
was always in the fist, right? And it turned out that it was one of those past life where he was protecting himself with a dagger, hiding in a cupboard, not knowing that he's already dead, murdered.
Oh, shoot.
And and when he died, he was still holding on to the dagger. So when he got reborn, the energy of the need to hold on to the dagger to protect himself continues to remain in his energetic body. And therefore, he was born with that fist, even though there's nothing wrong with his hands physically or muscles, right? But then after the session, it made sense to the parents and it made sense to the soul. And then the hands was able to function normally.
And speaking of past lives, there was like I've seen it on YouTube also, like those little kids remembering their past lives. Have you worked with one of those? Like not specifically those kids, but any kids that do recall how they died or remember their parents or any
No,
siblings?
actually, no. I didn't come across any of those, but if we did, that would be so amazing to work with them, to give them that closure. Because I do know that a lot of them talk about how painful it is
Yes.
to lead two lives. Here we are going, oh, all glamorizing our past life, like, oh, I was a queen or I was a king, all that, right? In those past life. But a lot of times those lives are not that fantastic, are not that fabulous. And having to live to reality is just so difficult. Like which name do you respond to? Which one, like in your mind, that past life is real as well. It's
Mhm.
just so difficult and so difficult for the people around you too.
Yeah,
Like,
the parents, especially if like, you're not my mom.
yeah,
Want the other
exactly.
one. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
But yeah,
yeah.
anyway, when I was sharing with you that this is the topic that we're going to talk about this week, and you were pretty excited because you felt that you also had some inspirations whispering to your ears that said this is the topic that you want to talk about. What came up for you?
Oh, it's just about healing in general. There was like pretty much a very sometimes I get those intuitions and then they leave me.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I grasp them, I write to you, and then I seem to forget. But it was mostly it's like I could understand that the guides were telling me that it's really important that to tell people that we can help them. It's like you shouldn't be lingering or suffering, and to really emphasis on that because right now there's so many people suffering, and this is where also as a humanity that we are so stuck and we're having a hard time going forwards as a united, earth-wise mentioned this German, sorry, people. And then and so it was really about like um understanding also we are in a constellation, we are on Earth, we are like not individuals. So it's most like doing the healing helps everyone. And this is what I was getting where I thought it was like it's important that we talk about how it's not just useful, it is necessary to do the
Mm.
healing work. And how and this is what I was grasping at that time is like, but it's really important. Is this what I'm hearing? Like it's really, really important. You have to mention her. Like, let's talk about healing, not just past life, but healing whatever it is. And it could be also connected. So it's not just you. Sometimes it's relationships. Sometimes, like I said, why you're always at the bad environment at the wrong time, the right place. So there is those connections that, that healing is really that we need to invest more time. And I'm pretty sure that people like they want to do the work, but just don't know where to start at. And that's what
Yeah.
I was like becoming. Is like it's mentioned that it is important to do the work, do the healing. So that's how we perpetuate. It's like karma is just bringing back what you haven't finished. It's unfinished business.
Mm,
So we're here to help you out, like to take down your to-do list,
yeah.
take up some of your list off. So, the weight or the anticipation of what you still need to do has to be done, because this is a pain. And it was my pain, so I understand you. If you feel the same, sometimes you feel there's some, you feel the pressure, but you don't know where it's coming from. And so, yeah, that must be it. So
No, I like that you brought that up because the number of times when we ignore that voice in our head to say, go find some healing, right? The number of times we ignore them, thinking that we should suck it up and deal with it. How often we do that, especially when it comes to spiritual healing, when it comes to energetic healing. Um, that people tend to say that, you know, like I'm practical, let's go see a doctor. But very often the doctors actually don't really have the answers.
right.
And you know, in this work that we do, because we don't only channel the past lives, we do channel our higher self, we do channel the ego, we do channel the soul, and it lends the language to things that we are not able to speak about. Like it gives us a language, like, you know, the stress of what we are facing in life, or the triggers of what we're facing in life. And sometimes through the channeler, the higher self and the ego is able finally to speak, because whenever they shout into our ears, right, we tend to ignore ourselves the most, right? Like I remembered working with this client who is also a very devoted um Buddhist, and it's all about being Zen and not being triggered, and that, you know, it is about just letting go. But it doesn't change the fact that she is triggered and she is unhappy, right? But she's like, I'm just letting it go, letting it go. And it specifically is about her husband, who is, you know, very male chauvinistic, expect her to keep the house clean, look after the children, prepare the dinner, have his clothes ironed. And she's like, you know, okay, I'm a Buddhist and I should be very peaceful about these things and I should be a dutiful wife. But inside her, she's a very intelligent, smart woman who has given up a career to be married, right? So then when we were channeling her ego, oh my God, the ego just went blah, 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 blah. It's like this talented woman put aside her life and then is really upset that she's not able to fulfill her dream of being a career ambitious woman who is doing corporate climbing and believe that she can be very successful, and here she
Mm,
is stuck at home, right? So all these things were words that she buried because, you know, in her very analytical, logical, and her religious practice and belief, she felt that she's not entitled to have these thoughts. But it doesn't change the fact that these thoughts actually did exist. And
wow.
therefore, the ego decided to speak for her. And she cried. She thought that she has, well, she cried not because of the trigger, she cried because she thought she has mastered whatever Buddhism has taught her. But yet it is still inside her, so she's very upset with herself that she's not able to master it. But that's not the point. The point is that the ego will have to suffer all these triggers within us, and therefore, um, if the ego is uncomfortable, it will be shouting in our ears, and it will make our body feel uncomfortable. And then therefore in that session we actually have to give the ego a lot of healing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And we
to
do talk to bodies, oh, by the way. So
oh yeah.
we do give voices sometimes to even organs or
Mm,
bone structures or molecules. So
yeah.
yes, we do have um we look upside down, not just wide away wide, wide away in space and other timelines, but sometimes also very deep inside
Did
into the
I
structure.
share with you a recent case we did of this woman where she has gone to the doctors because she couldn't understand why at night, especially, she was extremely alert. She couldn't sleep. And then
Mm.
her period stopped. And then she just started worrying like maybe something's wrong with the liver or something's wrong with the kidney because insomnia is one of she was studying on DeepSeek or on ChatGPT or AI that if she has prolonged inability to sleep or have insomnia, it could be issues rising from liver or the kidney. So she then went to the doctors to check it out. And true enough, even in her urine sample, it did capture certain things inside the urine that the doctor said that you have to come back for more tests, and it just got her very, very worried. And so she came to us for a session. And then so to your point, we spoke to all the different organs, right? So since she was so worried about the liver and so worried about the kidney, we spoke to the liver and to the kidney. And the kidney was like, yeah, we're so overworked, we're so tired, there's all this substance and all this toxins come in and we didn't have time to process them. And the liver was like, yeah, I concur, I had to process so many things I couldn't, right? I was like, okay, what the hell is she putting inside her body? Right. So then we talked to the stomach, and the stomach was like, I need more variety of food. I need vegetables. I need fruits. And I'm like, okay, why is the stomach complaining about all that? Right. So I talked to the client and I go, did you change your diet recently? And she go, yeah, I did. I'm not too sure what happened. I just completely not able to handle any vegetables. So this is a person who I know to be very health conscious. Look, she's taking protein shake, she's taking creatine, she's taking a lot of supplements, and
Mm.
she does yoga, Pilates. Her days are filled with this in her calendar. So to hear that she doesn't take a vegetable, she said, "Yeah, I'm not too sure. Like when I see vegetable, I just couldn't even think about chewing them, and I had to pick them out of my plates." I was like, okay,
What?
that yeah, she just couldn't handle the sight of vegetables. And immediately when she said that, and then the channeler said that I could smell some burnt meat, um, something, I go, okay, she is possessed. So
Oh,
when we tune in to look for what possessed her was actually a feral, like a nocturnal creature who just hunt and eat meat.
okay, gotcha.
So when we caught the feral and we said that we have to send it to the light and removed it from her because this possession has been around for so long that it actually started changing the DNA of her body, that her sleep pattern has changed, her dietary has changed,
Yeah.
and her period is not coming. So so then we were able to then just remove that, and that day her period came and she had the best sleep and she was able to have vegetables the next day. And this is purely
Wow,
from
amazing.
talking to the organs, from talking to the liver to the kidney and then to the stomach. And the stomach was like, so it gave us a lot of clues to what was going on because this feral spirit was very good at hiding in terms of like running around the body, just hiding in different areas. So we couldn't really detect it immediately, but we knew something's running in the system, but we didn't know whether it was a toxin running in the system or what was it running in the system. And then And then the organs gave us very good clues to what was running in the system. So it was a possession, but not a possession of another being, but it was possession by a feral animal or a creature. So the exorcism was pretty quick. Like, you know how, like, in other terms, people talk about exorcism. We basically just summon the spirit and say that, hey, you know, you don't belong here, you belong to the light, so let's just go. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was a recent case, like just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing story.
And she could feel, because given that she practices a lot of meditation, yoga, and pilates, so she could feel when we going in to bring out that spirit or that entity. And she's like, yeah, I could feel complete change. Yeah, so she was so pleased that she was able to sleep that night, and her diet went back to normal and her period came. She was getting so worried. She's like close to 40. She's like, I shouldn't be getting menopause at this age.
You're right. It can happen, but it doesn't have to.
Yeah. So that was a
Wow.
very interesting case. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing stories. We could continue, go on and on and on.
We have
But
so many different cases and use cases that we
I,
could share.
I
But
haven't checked if somebody's like talking to us or writing to us live. Wait, did you get a chance to check if there's any?
well, we have quite a few viewers, but nobody's chatting. So feel free to ask us any questions. We're happy to
Mm-hmm.
answer them, especially if you're, curious about channeling, past life healing. Yeah, we're happy to talk more and share with you of what we know, of what our
Mm-hmm.
experiences are. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Good. I checked those no sounds. Right.
yeah.
There. So I don't see. Oh, I see. But anyway, anyhow, really interesting to see how it could be like very sudden changes and how anyway healing.
Immediate. The healing was
Yeah, that was a
immediate.
yeah, why
Yeah,
amazing. I don't
exactly.
know. Do you wanted to talk to any
Oh
do you feel
yes.
like any spirits or like any experience or do you feel
Oh
any energies
yeah.
coming up?
I feel that there are some interesting beings who are like, yeah, we're watching YouTube. We want to be live here too.
Hmm. I don't know who's gonna come up, but we can try it on. Is this a good time? I haven't seen. We've been talking to almost an hour now,
No, I
isn't
think
it?
maybe 45 minutes.
Oh, okay, we started later. But it's
Yeah.
good. I'm happy that you guys are there. Thank you for being with us in this on this healing journey because we're all one. We're on the same ship almost.
Yeah. Oh, I
We're gonna,
forgot to open the circle.
yes, I was going to
Oh,
tell you.
so let's just put our hearts together, sharing so much love, expanding our love to the whole globe and to the solar system, to the galaxy, and to the universe, inviting any sentient beings who wants to join us on this YouTube live. You're welcome. Join us. I now declare the circle open.
Hello,
Hi,
greetings.
greetings. Who's this today? Welcome to our YouTube live.
I'm Jonas.
Jonas.
Yes.
Hi. Do I know you
I
from somewhere?
no, you don't know me, but I know one of the viewers.
Oh, you know one of the viewers? Okay,
Hmm. I'm
please.
here for healing.
Okay.
So I don't know if my name is Jonas or it's someone called Jonas or Joanne.
Mhm.
But I'm here because I'm related to that person and I would like to get closure.
Okay, please tell us what happened and what closure you're looking for.
It may sound a little bit surprising, but I'm a wandering spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I want to heal. As I stepped aside, you may want to explain what wandering spirits are.
Well, it is the spirits who delayed their time going to the light.
Mhm. And sometimes following for many timelines without necessarily having a piece of life in between or connections, but just following the energy. It's like being on an orbit and not
Because you have
living the energy. Yes.
because you have unfulfilled business.
Mhm.
Do you want to share with us what unfulfilled business you have? Do you still have your memories with you? Because very often when you wander around for too long, you will tend to start forgetting why you chose to stay instead of going to the light.
Unfinished business, yes. Unfulfilled dreams,
Mm-hmm.
unfulfilled duties,
Mm-hmm.
before and after life. I am very emotional. I feel pain, shame.
Mm-hmm.
I am not trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
I tricked. I was a loved one, but a married man, married husband, not very loyal. And my other wives, in that time, my wife was being a good wife and knew about my treachery and trickery and died of loneliness because of everything that I've done in her back. She stayed loyal. She stayed by my side. She never tried to run away. But today she's still afraid to say when she noticed something, when it's wrong. She's not able to communicate. She feels she has difficulty with her voice to share her own opinion, to have an opinion. It seems that I took her light and colors, and I feel so responsible that I'm trying to give her her light back. I'm ready to give up mine because I feel so I
So,
understand what I've done, but I can't let go. I want to make sure she's okay.
so you did love her.
I love her now more than I did in that time. I was just egoistic man, patriarchal, and using my power over her to control her.
Understand. Okay. Hang by. We will call for her to speak. Has Bernard this woman that he was talking about?
Like a Joey, Joanne. I am there.
Hello.
I am
Hi.
in this present life.
Mhm.
Hello.
Hi, I'm not too sure if you heard what your ex-husband said from the past life.
I'm aware now.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
So we are going to give you the healing so
Yes.
that you may have the voice, and we're going to clear your throat.
It
So,
hurts a lot. I have problems with my voice. Not
yeah.
just the voice, I always have infections.
Mm-hmm.
I always have, but also I can't speak out. I'm
Understand.
afraid to speak out. I even threw up when I can't tell things. And but also I have this burden that it's stays inside of me and I feel so heavy.
Yeah. We're going to free the energy, but first, do you understand that what happened in the past no longer applies to you in this life?
Yes.
Do you know the beauty of being able to share and speak up?
No, that's the thing.
Okay, we're going to download the perspective for you right now.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so hang in there. I'm going to give you the codes to download the perspective of the beauty of being able to speak up and share your truth in a beautiful way that people will listen. Kusura katashiara la malakata surdo, kinagi yara kiyarasa, shanioro kia la katasamarta, shitiurdo miara katasurda, shara kiata, nikuru, kinukuru, kinukuru. Breathe in, breathe out. You got the codes with you now. The perspective of the beauty of being able to speak up and share your truth, and that everyone will listen.
Yes.
Good. Let us give you the healing of all those energy blocks that no longer applies. But first, now that you're going to have your voice, what would you like to do with it?
Forgiveness.
Mhm. Anything else?
I want my late husband to go into the light. I
Good.
want him to go on and I want to step into my life now alone.
Beautiful. What do you want to say to your ex-husband in the past life?
I have loved you, always will. Thank you for your kindness, for your will to heal, not leaving me alone. I understand you wanted to protect me. Now it's protection has been accepted and also forgiveness. Step into the light. Thank you for being there as
We'll
I no longer need you now.
We will send a boatman for him. In the
Mm.
meantime, can we bring the angels or whichever being want to come through to help her with the healing of her throat and her chest?
Both men, yeah, both men.
Thank you, boatman. Please pick up that wandering soul who's been following this woman and bring him to the
Mm.
light. Good luck to him in his new adventure.
Stepping forward, he's stepping in,
Good.
leaving.
Bye bye. Is the healing done for the woman?
Raphael here.
Hello, Raphael. Thank you so much for being here.
Mm. What a beautiful lesson and lecture
Mm,
for everyone, for all of us.
indeed.
I'm here to bring a new perspective, but mostly help the body and the soul and the mind to recover as one and to transcend this information and this last experiences.
Thank
Stepping
you.
into the light and stepping into life.
Thank you, Archangel Michael. Archangel Raphael. Thank you.
It's okay. We're all here.
Thank you, all the archangels. I appreciate
We
you.
work we work very often all together. You call one of us, but very we Then I'll call for one, you get 4 or 5 or 6. Thanks.
Okay.
Blessings.
Blessings. That was very brave of the soul to come through. I think it must be really urgent, and I'm really glad to be able to step forward to support the healing for him. He must
Mhm.
have suffered for a long time.
I can feel tears, so you don't have to tell us, but it would be great if you could come right to us or
Yeah,
send maybe an email on Solistic Clinic.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be great because I could feel the release and relief. So that's beautiful.
He's definitely one of the viewers because this has never happened before.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of things going on here for never happened before. And you do
yeah,
like
yeah. So I'm really glad to be able to serve and help. Yeah.
me too.
Let's see. There's a being who wants to come through then.
Who is it? Like that. Are you just thinking about like monkey? Or
Oh, do the monkeys want to come?
no, I bet like there's many of them. Archangel Raphael again.
Oh, hello. Thank you for coming on YouTube Live with us.
It's it is about live or no live. It is about multi dimensions and timelines. Healing can be so powerful. It is within you. Notice how even your body, all your cells are created to heal themselves on their own terms.
Mm,
You were born to heal until you die. Today has been a healing session. You talk about healing,
mm,
certainly about past lives,
mhm,
past element that follows you and triggers you wherever you are. But healing is sometimes very difficult, and healing can be also very easy.
mm,
It is sometimes just about leaving your own biases behind. This is what is mostly hurting you. Wrong beliefs that no longer serves you, but
mm,
mostly also forgetting who you are. And that what hurts you mostly. And that was a good example. That's why I decided to step again. We we are one, but sometimes you have to see yourself also as individuals. Of course, when you're a teenager, you're mostly pressured to be part of your peers. You want to fit in. So you're born, you feel as united. It's all about you, and eventually it's all about everyone, and eventually it's all about everyone, and you get lost. And that's where it hurts because you lose track of what you are, who you are, and who you want to become. Healing is about finding your own colors back and show them. Healing is about radiating, beaming, splending. Healing is about joy, finding the smile on your face, not a forced one, a one that comes from the inside. And healings also simply start with you. We do look sometimes for so many prepared answers. I see a lot of people doing researches when very often you have your own solution or your own answers inside. It all so healing starts with connecting with yourself, connecting with everyone. And mostly it's about asking help because this is how it starts.
mm,
Sometimes so it's not if you're alone, you can start ask for help to for us. You can ask for help to your neighbor, your mom, a friend. a colleague, God, angels, you, mankind, you forget to ask help for help.
Mm.
That's what happened to Annie last week.
Yes, that's what happened to her last week. That's why we didn't have our YouTube live.
Oh,
But that was worth it. That was so worth it.
you cannot give what you don't have. And sometimes we get, we forget who you are, you forget also what is your capacity, or what is your, what are your gifts, or what are your limitations also. So it's about being connected.
Mm.
Connection is everything.
I love what you just said, Raphael. Especially knowing who we are, we forget about who we are. We forget that we are light. We forget that we are here supported and loved, and that we can ask for help and we can ask for support. And there's no shame in asking for help and support. There's
Mhm.
so many wrong beliefs that if we ask for help and support, that we are weak and vulnerable, and therefore we're not good enough. There's so many of such stories going around in the world that we live in today that we forget.
Exactly. And especially for those younger ones using a lot of social media, it is very painful. Always showing yourself up, very radiating, and mostly sometimes not quite 100% transparent, and not showing their vulnerability and their own, you know, always showing something else that's not really them completely. I'm not saying they're lying, but sometimes you get caught into this pattern of always being uh, a specific person or pattern, or yes.
I completely agree. It's like there's this role that we have to play, and we play this role so well that we mistaken that this role is us. And that's when a lot of people start feeling they have this fraudster syndrome, where they felt that they cannot be themselves and they have to perpetuate the role that they have played. Like,
Mhm.
the example of the client I talked about, who is a devout Buddhist, where she felt that the role of playing, of being a devout Buddhist, means being a devoted wife, a dutiful wife, and therefore all the pain and anger that she feels within cannot be expressed. And she continues to play that role, suffering, getting weaker, eating her up inside. So yeah, it's just really difficult when we forget who we are. So I really like Archangel Raphael for reminding us that it's probably good to walk down the journey of remembering who we are. But
Yes, we get confused. Mhm.
it's
You
not
get
easy.
confused on what you are and what you're presenting. So there's this blossom, which is also okay, but always remembering that when oversteps, it creates shadows somehow. You
Mm.
know, you're not
No, and
being
the
really true.
role that we've been playing for so long, right?
Mhm.
We forget. Yeah. So, but yeah, thank you. Thank you for that reminder that it is important to remember who we are. That's beautiful. I think if
Yeah.
there's anything key message to take away is to remember who we are. It's easier said than done because
Yes,
we don't remember. Uh, People talk about the mask we put on, and sometimes we wear this mask for so long that we don't remember what's behind that mask.
exactly. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong wearing a mask, but never fade your colors or your light.
Mm, yeah. Yes, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful close for today's session, Archangel Raphael. Thank you so much for coming forward to share your thoughts and ideas about healing. And you are right, it's about truly remembering who we are and the light that we are.
And
Thank you.
stay connected. Yes.
Oh, yes, and stay
Ask
connected.
for help and stay connected. Connected to yourself so your body helps you, or your mind or your anxiety, if you need more sleep. So these are like little hints, but also stay connected with other people, stay
Yeah.
connected with your emotions, stay connected with God or us, and ask for help or say hello. We like the connection. We like the communication between us.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll ask for Annie to come back. And thank you so much, Archangel Raphael. And I'll see you soon. We have some cases I may need your support and help shortly.
Pleasure.
Take your time, Annie.
I'm trying to open up my eye. There seem to be.
Oh, somebody else want to come through? Just give them.
No, it's okay. It's just I was like wide awake. Okay, I'm here back.
Oh,
Ah,
welcome.
okay.
Oh, that was so nice of Archangel Raphael to come through. So yes, I'm really glad that we did some channeling and able to help two souls that were stuck on a story that no longer serve, right? And
Mm.
it's actually a very good example of like, this woman having this voice problem and this sore throat issue and not being able to speak up is because she may not remember the past life, but energetically her body blueprint remembers. And being able to heal that would just simply a very simple step of changing her life.
Mm-hmm.
More comfortable, be able to speak up and share more and build more relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So sometimes we don't realize that our voice actually changes our fortune. Just imagine if somebody have a very meek voice. How do they go out to promote, sell, or influence, or even make friends? Can you imagine if I speak like this all the time? Like, can I have a favor from you? Right? Like, what sort of personality is this person? Right? Like, if it's always so meek and so weak, am I am I open for bullying? Am I open, to not have what I want done for me? Right?
Mm.
We don't know
Right.
because people listen to your voice and then whether there's some form of, purpose, determination, clarity, it reflects a lot about a person. So hopefully in the healing session that we did for her today, her life will be somehow, some form transformed. So
It
thank you
was
so
a
much.
beautiful gift. With like the husband showed up like I
Yeah,
guess.
and in some sense now he can forgive himself and then move on to his next adventure in the next life and stop being a wandering spirit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, thank you so much, Annie, and thank you so much for all those people who gave us likes and tuning in.
You.
So look forward to our next session. It may be another interesting session. So I see you all again. Thank you so much, Annie.
Bye bye. See you everyone. This is the end. Like